Hello and welcome back to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm the therapist, Tess Brigham.
And I'm Brooke Brigham. I'm the attorney.
And today we are back with our Sister Wives coverage. This is season 19, episode 13, Give Up the Ghost. Who's the ghost?
I think it's Cody. I think it's Meri's friends telling her, that she is much better off without him. Because even this is 6 months after the release.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell she's still kind of hanging on a little bit.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
and then they pick Caille, the famous place that we know from season 1.
Yeah, and they're sitting outside all by themselves. Like it was it was a little strange, but
yeah.
It's a beautiful
all right. So
restaurant.
We're going to, because there's sort of 3-ish main stories that are being told. There's Meri with her friends at Caille. There is Christine and all the dress shopping and cake and the prep for that. And then there's the final part, which is Robyn and her daughters.
Yeah.
So we're just going to go section by section. So let's start with Meri at Caille.
Now, her friends, who have the weirdest spellings.
I know, neither of them spell their name.
So Andrea, which is spelled Andreah, she is, I think, wasn't she the one that Meri spent Christmas with? Or she said she used to babysit her? Or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's her. I believe that's her.
So she's like younger. Especially if Meri used to babysit her. And then Hillary, spelled Hilaree, is one of her newer friends. And
who's got a lot of opinions.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of with Hillary.
No, I'm with them.
Yeah, I mean, they both grew up in polygamy, but this is confusing because first she said that Andrea had sister wives, but then she left that situation. But then later on in the lunch, Andrea was saying, well, I'm not part of that, or I'm not into that, or something. Maybe she means that was in the past. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that they're both raised in it. Andrea did, I think, maybe dabbled in it. Hillary never did, but they have this awareness, and now they're and apparently these are the women that were sitting out in the car when she was going to get her release.
Yeah, drove with her.
So very,
yeah.
Wow. Again, 2 people, these people just show up. I don't know. I don't know if people just say, oh, I don't want to be on camera, or there's no need for them to be on camera. But again, we just see so many of Meri's friends that come out of the woodwork.
Yeah. And so Hillary's first question is, have you fucked any men? Meri's like, well, not yet. That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Hillary is very, well, both of them are very honest with her. And because she's still, doesn't seem to, I don't want to say she's not overcoded. I don't know. She's still kind of clinging on to something.
Yeah. Well, I think she's still processing a lot, but I have a note here, which is these women get Cody. Like they got him. Yeah. They get him. They see him. They understand him. And that's the one thing I was just wondering. I mean, it's been 6 months, so maybe, but they're being very direct with her and very, and I don't know if I don't think Meri's there yet. I think Meri, I think it's just going to take her a bit more time because, even though what we've been watching is, God, Meri, get out of this. It could be so much better. I really think that she truly believed that eventually she and Cody would make it work and get back together. And it's hard to let go of that dream. You had a dream in your mind that you believed in for, decades. So to give that up, that's hard.
Yeah. And I thought, from last week with the moving and all that kind of stuff, I thought, she was a little bit closer to, but no, she makes statements during this lunch that she thought that it would get to a point where, everyone would just make everything work out, or,
But yeah, Andrea was like, the minute he married Robyn, he stopped caring about anyone else.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. It's like,
and then Cody pops on to say that's not true. And anyone who thinks that is just coming from a place of recency bias. Like, where'd you come up with that fancy term?
But this is, I know. I thought that was funny. Of course, we have to hear from Cody. But, this whole idea of like my attitude didn't change. But it's like, but that's not really what they're talking about. They're not talking about your attitude. What they're really talking about is like how you showed up, your intentions every day. And if you had strong feelings for one person, and those were your feelings, and you were not managing them, then yeah, that's what people are going to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
That whole recency bias thing it's like, it's got nothing to do with it. He just won't take any ownership, not one iota of ownership that maybe, that he does treat Robyn differently. He can't own that at all.
I know. Well, yeah,
what you gonna do?
I kind of felt sorry for Meri in this scene because she just seemed, her friends are really trying to pump her up and say, you're a great person, and you deserve better than this, and one of them says he'll miss you when he realizes what he lost, and she says, you think? She's kind of being vulnerable, and I felt badly for her.
Yeah, well, and I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, it made me realize how deep Meri is into this religion and this. She just, I think the others have been able to let it go more. She really, I think she's still feeling she feels like a failure. And I think it's the pressure of she doesn't want, I don't think she really wants to be divorced. She didn't really want to leave Cody. She kind of had to, she had no other choice. She wanted this. She wanted to stay in this family and, be part of this family.
Well, and also some of the things that her friends are saying to her, listen, I'm not criticizing the friends per se, saying that they're not being honest with her, but I think they're being honest with her. I think they're being a little too direct without any kind of softening to anything, very straightforward, and you got to soften things. But also this whole thing of like, one day he'll realize what he lost. He will miss you. It's like, I feel like with that, it's almost like Meri, she knows that's not true.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's like, he's not going to. He's not going to do that. I think he's going to have moments and happy memories and all of that. But no. And that's not what she needs to hear. You know what I mean? That one day he'll realize that you were the one. What she really needs to hear is about, right, this is your opportunity to figure out who you are and what you want and what do you want for the rest of your life. And now you can do that. Yeah.
It's all centered on the loss.
Yes. Not what she's gaining.
The future opportunity.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or that, he's going to be sorry or whatever it is. It's like, no, because Meri needs to go out and meet someone who's really, that she's going to be their number one. So she needs to look for that, not for someone who's just going to feel bad, that they divorced you 10 years later. You know what I mean? Someone who really sees your value in the here and now. So anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Hillary and Andrea really, they kind of start bad-mouthing polygamy and talking about, because again, Meri's sort of half defending it, and they're saying, that, this is religion tells you have to suffer to go to heaven. And, to be fearful of your thoughts. And then you get Meri saying that she thinks there's a way polygamy can work. And they're like, no. Andrea says she doesn't know anyone who's happy in polygamy. Just like, Meri, give it up. Give it up. Give up defending it. And she also says she hasn't talked to anyone in her family about it, about the divorce.
Oh, and in her immediate family? I think I was thinking of the family, like Janelle and Christine. That didn't even register with me. That's interesting.
Well, I'm not sure what family she's talking about. She's talking about her siblings, or is she talking about Janelle and Christine? Well, she did have a conversation with Janelle about it, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, and I think, Meri, I just thought it was really huge when Meri said, it worked because he didn't have to be around me that much.
Yeah.
And I think that's the piece that they need to separate. What she really needs to start talking about is herself, not her in relationship to Cody and what he believes or what he thinks. That's the religion. That's the old way, and that's why. And again, but these women also grew up in it. So.
Yeah, I know. So Meri is still, she's still got a long way to go.
Yeah. But we do get a flashback, though, of the two of them at La Caille, for their 20th anniversary.
Yeah. The vulgarity.
Oh, God, the vulgarity of it all. Yes. Yes. But yeah, and Meri talks about this. I mean, I think that the jealousy piece has been talked about on the show in a lot of different ways, but I finally feel like we're now really digging into it because she's talking about how Cody would dismiss her feelings, which is what he was, he's dismissing her feelings in that moment of saying, it's bad or wrong to be jealous. But if the roles were reversed, I'm not even going to put myself there. That's basically what he says. I'm not even going to think that because that is so disgusting.
Yeah. Again, yeah. So it's okay for the women to suffer, but not the men.
Yeah. The women have to suffer the most. I mean, right? Everyone has to suffer, but especially the women.
Yeah, they just have to suffer through it. And ironically, I mean, wasn't that season?
That was season 1.
Season 1.
Yeah, with the two of them.
When they're bringing in Robyn, and on the one, they're talking out of both sides of their mouth. One hand, they're talking about how, this is so exciting. We love Robyn. And then on the other side out of the other side of the mouth, you've got Meri saying she's jealous, and you've got Christine saying she thinks this is a horrible idea.
Yeah.
The denial, the mental gymnastics that have gone on. Well, yeah, I don't know if there's much more to say.
Well, we go back to them later on, and Andrea talks about how, religion taught her not to express herself, and she just feared everything, and she didn't know her ex enough before they were married, which I think is very much like, Cody didn't know Robyn was the longest courtship. So yeah, again, this is these very common things where people get married very quickly. They don't know each other. You are taught to be fearful. Hillary was the 85th grandchild. That is so crazy.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And then, that's what, is it Hillary that says this thing? I don't have to wonder if my husband enjoys sleeping with another woman or another wife more, right? That's, I don't have to wonder if he's going to provide enough for me versus another wife. And yeah, I was just writing some things down about, like, so much of this is about survival, and that your survival, like, am I going to have enough to live? Am I going to have this? And it's also your emotional survival. Am I being seen? Am I being loved? Am I just like a bother to you? And that's the thing. You can't really find or connect with other people at all because you're constantly, in this state of survival, which is really not the way to happiness or having a happy life. Yeah. But that, what all of these women experienced. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they just basically all go on to talk about how, divorce is bad. And then I was watching them. Were they all eating salmon? They all had this big pink thing on their plate, and Meri looked like she'd eaten hers, but not really. And neither of the other two women looked like they'd eaten. It was very, obviously they put them outside for the cameras and all of that, but.
It was editing. Yeah. Cause at one point, two of them had their meals and Meri didn't, but then another scene, they all were eating the same thing. And then there was some charcuterie board or I don't know.
Oh, I missed the charcuterie board. Okay. So that's pretty much it. I mean, that's Meri. That's where she's at. Do we know in the timeline where this is? So we're now in, because it's warm outside, we're like probably summertime 2023.
Yeah.
And so when does she meet that guy Amos? Is that towards the end of it's 2023 when she meets him, or 2024?
Well, Christine got married in October 2023.
Yes.
So I believe that she met him like before Christine got married. So it's right around, I think, in this time period.
Okay. So she meets him in a couple months. Interesting.
Well, I don't know. I have no idea. She may have already met him and broken up with him. I don't even know. This time-space continuum of this show is something that I will never understand fully.
Yeah. I'm just sort of mentally where is she at? Okay. All right. Meri's trying to figure out how to worthy up. So let's go to Christine. Ugh. You know what I hate the most is watching people try on wedding dresses.
And everyone commenting, like all the comments. Oh my God. I could never, ever do that.
No.
I would just be like, shut the fuck up. I don't want all you people commenting. Got McKelty.
All of it. You know, can I just tell you, I tried on maybe 5, 6 dresses, narrowed it down to 2. And then I think Mom was with me the first time. And then I brought you back as like, okay, let me try on the 2 I like the most. And then, we made a decision and that was it. Like it just moved on with my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to get, it's a bonding thing. You want to get people's opinions. If you're a mother, you obviously want to be a part of it. It's exciting, but it's only exciting for those people. It's not exciting for anybody else. It is not good TV. And I know there's like Say Yes to the Dress has been on forever, but I just don't understand how these shows last. This is so boring. Who cares? I don't know. Just me.
No, I agree. I think Christine, she basically already knew what her dress was going to be. I think she probably planned to have it custom made all along.
Yeah.
But they had to film this thing. This was just part of the production. They had to do this thing for television. And she just tried on whatever dress, because she said to everyone, I'll try on anything you pick out for me. So everyone picked out a dress and she tried them all on. She didn't even like most of them,
And they were all they all felt very similar and none of them were, not one was flattering.
No.
And not one felt like Christine. And all of it was just, she kept picking the most unflattering things for her body type. All of it. And everyone's like, oh my God, that's so amazing and beautiful and all this stuff. And she's trying on all these dresses that have that kind of Madonna kind of bust, lacy, bustier kind of thing, which I feel like kind of was a trend 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, some of the dresses were nice, but some of them were just really very ugly. And, okay, can we talk about she showed up there in this pink pantsuit that looked like it was designed just so she could show off her tattoo. And it came down so low, like it was too low in order to see the tattoo. And half her boob was hanging out. And just kind of like, okay. She really loves that tattoo.
She does. And she really loves a one sleeve, one shoulder kind of look. Because we see next week.
Yeah. She's wearing the same thing in a dress
version. Yeah. And we've seen her in press with something very similar to this.
It's all about the tattoo. She gets these dresses designed around the tattoo. So we can all see it.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't take
so excited.
I know. I didn't take many notes. Like Aspen's happy for her. They're glad she gets to, everyone's happy. Janelle showed up because production said
Maddie came from North Carolina
to be a part of it. And I mean,
David's mom, who's like 92.
Yeah, she was there, and her kid and some of his kids.
There. Yeah.
And all of her kids. And everyone was there.
And then, of course, we have to flash back to her first wedding dress and how I feel bad saying it was an awful dress because Annie made the dress.
Yeah.
But couldn't even come to the wedding because she had already left the church. And
well, when you have to have a high neck, long sleeves, and it hit the floor, how many options do you really have?
Not a lot.
You don't. You really don't.
Yeah, she did the best that she could. And, it wasn't, it just wasn't, it wasn't flattering because it wasn't, because, it's not like Christine was that big. It was just this tent of a dress that had no, it had no shape in the middle. It just put some darts in the back or, something. Like just get a little bit of a waistline look going there. And it would have been okay, for a polygamous wedding.
But she's not a polygamist anymore.
No.
This is single Christine.
A new Christine.
Single Christine shows her boobs.
And her tattoos. Yeah. And then we get this random cutaway to Robyn saying, a wedding dress is a big deal. Like, shut up. We don't want to hear from you, miss. I picked the dress, went behind everyone's back and pretended that they were helping her. And then Cody picked the dress.
Well, yeah. And then we have to go through the whole thing with Janelle. Honestly, I think Janelle had the best wedding dress. I love that green dress. I thought that was a great dress on her and I thought it was cute. But she's always like, oh, I didn't have one. And, and it was interesting because I didn't realize I knew that her mom converted to the religion, but I didn't know that it was like Janelle's mom went to Janelle's wedding to stop the wedding and then met Wynn.
No. When she got married to Cody, she had been, her mom had married Wynn 3 months earlier. Her mom went to Wyoming. Was it Wyoming or Montana, wherever they were living? Went there because she was concerned that Janelle was joining us or something. So she went to Cody's parents' place to meet them and met Wynn, fell in love. They got married. Then 3 months after they got married, Cody and Janelle got married.
Oh, I thought Janelle and Cody got married first and then they were after. Okay, that's how I interpreted the story. Okay. Yeah, so then we learn that she's going to, just take bits and pieces of everything that she liked, which was exactly what she described in the beginning. She described this one dress. She tried on a bunch of dresses that did not meet that at all and then told her she's going to design the thing that she really wants. So,
deep plunge off the shoulder, but a little sleeve, form-fitting, long, no veil. So,
which is pretty much what she ended up with.
Yeah, I mean, I liked her dress. I think what happened was, I think she must have lost weight in between her last fitting and the wedding day because it's the dress. It was a form-fitting dress, but it seemed loose on her. Like I think she may have lost weight or something. But I liked her dress. I thought it was pretty.
And the thing is that the dress is about the person. You have to love it. Like it has to feel like you, So then let's go back to, then the second scene we see with Christine is all about the cake tasting.
Yes.
So, and everybody is there today. Now,
it's Truly was there. I don't think was Truly at the dress shop.
I don't remember her, but she might have been.
But Truly has one of the best lines in the show because I forget if it was who was sitting next to David on the other side. Or was it his daughter or someone asked David if he's going to have a groom's cake.
Yes, I remember this.
And then of course McKelty says, if it was like boobs. You should have like a boob cake. And Truly said, what if it was your boobs?
Oh, she said that? And not, I thought McKelty said that. Okay.
McKelty said the first part. And Truly said the second part. And
then they start talking about how that's inappropriate. I'm like, Christine, these are your two kids.
Yeah. These are your kids who are always saying these inappropriate things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, laugh at them.
I want to talk about the cake lady for a second here. That woman was so baked. I mean, I think she was like, oh God, I'm going to be on camera. I'm going to smoke a little weed. And then she got too high.
The one in the hot pink, with the hot pink outfit.
Yeah, she just seemed so out of it. And she's like, here's the red velvet, and then here's this, and then here's this, and then here's this. Like, she just seemed so high. Or something was up. I don't know. I don't know if you picked up on that.
Yeah, she had this weird monotone voice. She was weird.
Yeah. Or she was just really uncomfortable, or maybe that's who she is. But it was kind of like, you're on TV, your job is about weddings and a special occasion, and it's cake. Who doesn't love cake? Like, why are you bummed out? Like, why are you upset right now? I don't understand this. So anywho.
Maybe she was nervous.
Yes. But it's so funny when Christine was talking about like fondant, because I will tell you, when Steve and I were looking at cakes for our wedding, this fondant thing is such a division with these bakers, because there's bakers that use fondant and there's bakers that don't.
Yeah.
And there's always this whole, like, the non-fondant using ones feel very superior to the other ones.
Fondant is gross. Like,
yeah, it is. And you don't want to eat it. It's really about design.
But then when they cut the cake, it's on it. So you have to pick it off. Like,
I guess so.
I've seen cakes that are covered in fondant.
Oh, I don't know if I've had that many fondant cakes, but Steve, being the foodie he is, refused fondant.
Yeah.
It had to be fresh.
So, but they're doing this naked cake, which is just partial frosting, and then they're going to put flowers on it. And it's like, I don't want that. I want all the frosting. It's the best part.
Yeah, but there are times that there is too much frosting. But what you're really talking about is, it's almost like cream cheese on a bagel, over cream cheese, so that then that person can like configure it the way they want to. And that's the same thing with cake. If you don't want a lot of frosting, just scrape it off. Yeah. It's not the end of the world.
Psych Legal Pop will be right back after these messages.
So, but of course, David doesn't know what a naked cake is. So there's all these like, ha, 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 I thought it was a woman going to pop out of the cake. I thought it was this or that. And again, I don't think it's weird that David doesn't know what a naked cake is.
No. That's
we're all just kind of laughing.
It's not common knowledge. I really wasn't sure what it meant when she first said it. But then I'm like, I saw the pictures of the cakes where it was kind of lightly frosted on the outside.
Yeah. So they did end up choosing 3 cakes. But this was the most interesting thing, was talking about how when they were trying to decide which cake was what, it's David that was just like, well, why don't we get all 3? Mm-hmm. And she just talks about how David makes everything easy. Mm-hmm. David makes it like, because David, you know what it is? David doesn't care. Like, not that he doesn't care about her, but I think he sort of I think David, I get the sense when she's talking about this, I get the sense that maybe Cody made a big deal about everything.
Oh, yeah.
And that David really finds the hills that he's going to die on, which is much more effective when you pick and choose your battles versus like, okay, fine, let's pick 3 cakes. I also get the sense that I think David has more money. So maybe it might be a financial piece of this too. But yeah, I mean, she talks about that, of how easy he makes it. And then she gets into this whole thing, which is something else I hadn't thought about, which is how weird it is for her to have to confer with someone on so many things, because she was doing so much on her own. She had to make a bunch of decisions on her own.
Right, because Cody wasn't around.
Yeah. And
she said something along the lines of, he just made everything so difficult that it was best to just keep him out of it, Because remember back when they were picking the cake for Robyn?
Oh God, yeah. There were secret votes.
Secret votes. And then he said that basically, remember he tried to vote twice?
Yeah.
And basically he was saying that we're going to pick the cake that I want.
Yeah, basically.
I'm going to make this happen. And he didn't care about. Yeah, David does not care. Like, he doesn't care. He just wants Christine to be happy and not have to choose a cake if she likes 3, you know. He doesn't care.
Yeah. No,
night and day.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and that is so true, that the difference between someone who needs to be right and the center versus someone who can live with not being right or the center of attention. But then this is where we get Cody talking about how he's saying Christine's going around saying that Dad has a soulmate, and that's Robyn. And I'm mad because she's saying this to the other wives and the kids. And, how dare she do that? But then in the next breath, he says, well, but I'm willing to accept this now.
Yeah. He's like, I'm inclined to believe in it now. Okay, well, then why are you complaining? Like,
because
she's trash talking him to everybody. Because all she said was, actually, I thought it was kind of nice.
Yeah.
She said, Dad has a soulmate and I want to find my soulmate.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah. It wasn't even negative to Cody.
No.
But I think it's the religion and everything that's been pounded into them all these years of, you're not supposed to have favorites. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. Right. All of those things. I think that's the piece that he's reacting to much more than the other parts of it. But it is, I don't know. He's just he keeps claiming he's getting better with the anger, but he's still so angry. And everything that anytime someone says something he doesn't like, he's back to that same, they're trash talking me. They're trash talking me. All of this crapola. It's exhausting.
It is. It is. Everyone's exhausted by Cody.
Yeah.
That's why they all have to get away from him.
Okay. And that's pretty much their stuff. God, is the rest of the season going to be Christine in this shopping and blah, 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 blah?
Yeah. I mean, well, they already got the venue picked out. She got the cake, the dress. What else is there left to do? I'm sure there'll be some wedding drama.
Well, yeah, the guest
flowers and the decorations and the
and also list. Who's sitting with whom,
right?
If they're doing table seats, that's another always a big one. But yeah, hopefully we're sending out the invitations. Hopefully this is we get very little of this because this isn't very interesting. I'd much rather watch Christine at home with David and or watch the dynamic with him and Truly than watch this.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I think this is going to be the rest of the season for her because what else? I mean, yeah, unless they do kind of show their home life more. What else is she doing? This is her life right now. Just planning this wedding.
Yeah. I guess so.
And there's no other babies that are going to be born or.
Yeah. Yeah. You forget sometimes oh, that's right. The show is her job. So, she's not working. When we see her, she's working. So I guess she's just doing exactly what the producers tell her. This is what we want to see, or this is what
she's not. Yeah, she's not part of the Coyote Pass thing. Yeah, this is it. This is her storyline.
All right.
Okay, now this last storyline, I feel,
so set up,
fake as hell. Yeah. We're back in Flagstaff with Robyn, who, does she only wear business casual? I think she was wearing some jeans, but she always wears those tops, those business casual tops, which I have a few that I wear, for work sometimes, but that's all she wears.
Yeah. I think maybe that's who she is. I mean, I think that she wants to still be modest to a certain extent. And those shirts are, because we wear them for work. So they're not sexy. They're not meant to be that. And I think she loves a pattern. She loves a pattern. And so I think it just sort of satisfies her. And listen, maybe she's wearing t-shirts and tank tops or something when we're not, when she's not filming. But I think this is kind of I think this is her style.
Yeah.
Just put Cody outside with the gloves and I just think this is what they like, and the visor.
Yeah. Well, she starts out saying that she's going through an identity crisis. She feels like she's disappeared.
Yes. Her future has disappeared.
So what is she going to do now?
The first thing she says is, oh, Meri moved back to Parowan and I'm just having such a hard time with it. It's huh? How? You didn't see her. You didn't see her when she was there.
No.
And you just saw her recently. She just gave you a check.
Yeah, she was just at your house. Yeah. Not that long ago.
Yeah, it's so I don't know, it's God, do you live in the comment section? Do you just say things that you feel like the audience, like you feel like this is the right thing to say is I miss Meri?
Well, this is her whole thing, is that she wanted the sister wives, on the porch. This is polygamy, blah, blah, blah. She's never going to let that go. She's never going to admit that, I was going to say, she's never going to admit that she just wants Cody to herself, but she always had Cody to herself the minute she came on the scene, but she liked thinking that she was, part of this family and this special thing. I don't know.
Again, I maintain that I think Robyn likes the sister wives. She wants it so badly because she wants to be the favorite in a group of women.
Right.
So she can be the favorite. If all these women are gone, it's just her.
Yeah.
It's just her.
And she was able to, I think she got satisfaction of being able to control the family, her clandestine, practices of we're controlling the family. Well, now it's not fun anymore because now it's just controlling Cody.
Well,
you get to control other people through Cody,
And also Cody's so angry. He's so angry. He's flipping out. He's having such a hard time. And I'm sure taking it out on her because there's no other wives that's the other flip side of it is maybe Cody never took his anger or frustration out on Robyn. Maybe she never saw any of that. Right. And he took it out on someone else, maybe Christine. Right. So now she's getting the full Monty. She's getting it all with him. And there is no one else to compare her to. And that's very different. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about the super fake scene.
Yeah. Well, allegedly, Cody leaves with Saul and Ari because they just need to get out of the house. So that Robyn can have this fake discussion. And allegedly, Breanna and Aurora want to join a church. They miss being part of a church. And then she says that they're both in college, which I knew they were both in college, but it kind of stunned me because I'm just thinking to myself, oh my God, these two girls are in college and they're living at home and asking permission to, go to a church.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, God, what a pathetic life.
But and this is the most exciting thing that can happen to you. I'm like, college, God.
Aurora's 23 or something, and Breanna's 21. I mean, they should not be here.
Yeah. Ay. But we learned that Aurora misses church, Breanna misses church, and you know what? Robyn misses church.
Oh yes, everyone misses church. And when did they last go to church?
Well, we saw the scenes, Vegas.
Yeah, but she said, well, that was home church.
Yeah.
And she said it wasn't very good. And then cut to Cody trying to give a sermon and everyone falling asleep and, hitting each other and whatever. I mean, the only place where they had the church was in Utah. And Robyn only lived in Utah for what, a year?
Well, with them or Lehigh, yeah.
So, she misses church. Honey, it's been 12 years since you've been to a church. So
if you really wanted to go, you could figure it out. You really could.
Yeah.
So, but she's very worried about her children not having religion.
Another thing I noticed, Robyn's eyebrows were, always on full display. I think the girls are starting to pencil in their eyebrows too.
Oh.
Because I was looking at them and they looked not as bad as Robyn, but they looked like, they've got the eyebrow pencils.
So you think it's pencils or microblading?
I think it's a pencil because if it is a microblading, she needs to get her money back because it's a horrible, they're not even, you know what I mean? And I saw one of Layla's friends just had that done. I think maybe I might look into it because, well, at first she showed me the picture of when they first did it and it looked like Robyn's, but you see hair, Robyn, you don't even see any hairs. It's just looks like it's literally painted, but it calms down, to a couple weeks later now, when you look at her and you still kind of go, what's going on with her eyebrows? But eventually it takes several weeks for it to, settle in but it looks good. Like it's all, he's a lot younger. I don't know if my eyebrows are so thin from all the years of plucking and waxing. I don't think anything.
You know what it is? It's the upkeep of it. It's like, because I noticed in the confessionals that Robyn's wearing fake eyelashes. And I used to do the extensions and I loved the way it looked. It looked amazing. But the upkeep of the eyelash extensions.
Yeah.
And I think because the woman that did my eyelashes also did the microblading, and I have really big bushy eyebrows. So she didn't suggest it to me. But I was asking her about it, and it's like the maintenance of it, it's expensive. And then like every 3 months, like once you get on that train, it's hard to get off.
I can't take that on.
Yeah. So don't do it.
Okay. I'm not going to, but I do think that they are, they're overdoing it with the eyebrow pencils.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anyway,
Breanna, the whole thing is Breanna, more than missing church, she wants to start dating some guys.
Yeah.
And she wants to date some guys that have the same life goals. And what I wonder about this is that maybe Breanna is sort of like, okay, the only way I'm going to be able to meet a man, because I'm not allowed to date. I'm not allowed to do any of these other things. And I want to meet somebody. So let me figure out how to do this so that my parents will approve. Yeah.
She seemed a little desperate.
Yeah.
And I realized too, they're so isolated at home. I'm sure they have rules on them. Like, even though they're both over 20, I'm sure they have like these curfews that are, like 10 o'clock curfew, can't do this, they're so isolated. And, there's Robyn's so fearful and, I'm starting to feel really sorry for them.
Yeah. I'm just looking up, keep going. I'm just going to look up the actual age of these ages.
Yeah. They're saying that they want a community. Yeah. They want some friends. They want to start dating.
Mm-hmm.
And also, they need to find guys with traditional, values. Of course, this is what, their words, old fashioned. They can't find guys who have that in college.
So Aurora was born in 2003. So she's Layla's age.
Aurora is only 21.
She's 21.
No. She's older than that. She's the same age like as Gabe and Gwen.
Gwen is 23.
Yeah.
She's the exact same age as, okay. Maybe
she might be a year younger. I think she's 23.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think I heard that recently. And I think that Breanna is like 21.
All right. I'm oh my God, the internet's wrong. Oh, that's shocking. Hold on. I found a new link. So let me see where, let me keep looking. God damn it. I really feel for these two. And then they have to, okay, here we go. Gabe is 22. Gwen is 22. This one says Aurora is 21.
I don't think that's right. I think it's wrong.
Isabel's 20. Breanna's 19. So they're saying 20 because the show's been around for close to 15 years and Aurora's 21. So if she's 21, you're right, because she wasn't 6.
No, she was
when the show started. She was like 8 or 9.
I think that they were all 2 years apart. They were like 6, 8, and 10.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway. So the Breanna was 6. So yeah, do you think Robyn's putting out the wrong ages? Do you think she's cutting down the ages to make her daughter seem more eligible?
So it doesn't seem so weird that they're still living at home. Yeah. Robyn is infiltrated the internet to change these birth dates.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, because I know for sure Gabe and Gwen are 23, probably going on 24.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is these girls are too old.
They're legal adults.
They're legal adults.
One can drink legally.
I think they both can drink legally.
They both can drink legally.
They should not be living at home. You know what? They can live together on campus.
Yeah.
They can be roommates on campus. And in that whole line, I feel like that was fed to her, the line about not being able to meet guys with values or old-fashioned traditional values at college.
Mm-hmm.
Please. There's all kinds of people at college. Okay. Whatever kind of person you want to meet, you can meet. They have church groups on college campuses,
Yeah.
all kinds of religion things. I mean, of every religion. So this is just so fake. And I guess this is going to be their storyline.
Yeah.
Like for the rest of the season, they're going to be looking at churches.
Oh, God. Well, maybe the producers went to Robyn and said, listen, lady, you never have storylines.
Yeah.
You never have. We've got Christine out here naked, trying on dresses. We've got, Janelle, looking at property. We've got all these other women. God knows, Meri sweeping and sweeping and sweeping, So everyone else is doing stuff. And maybe they said, Robyn, you have to do that. And she was like, okay, let me pick an acceptable, quote unquote, storyline.
Yeah. And you notice that she's also, I think they're forcing her to let them come into their house and film.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've been avoiding anyone in their house, that they've been piggybacking on other people's storylines.
Mm-hmm.
This has just all been their reaction to like Christine leaving or Meri or whatever. Now it's just the two of them.
Yeah.
They've got to come up with, and none of these other people want to film with them or even be around them unless it's absolutely necessary. Like someone's getting married.
Because of all the people in this, the 5 adults, Robyn and Cody need the show and the money from the show the most.
Mm-hmm.
Christine now is married, and I think David has money. Yeah. And Meri has got her own businesses.
Meri has her own money.
And so does Janelle. So nobody these two need this show to keep going. So maybe the two of them got together and realized like, oh, crapola, we've got to do more. All right, Breanna, Aurora, But I love how you had to send out Saul and Ariel for this conversation. Like, ooh, they can't possibly hear about.
God forbid they overhear this.
Church shopping,
Yeah. It was so fake.
But did you catch this one thing where Robyn says, she talks about plural marriage and does plural marriage, they're kind of getting into this whole like plural marriage versus single monogamy. Mm-hmm. And she was saying, well, it's not plural marriage. She's saying she blames the individuals. Mm-hmm. She's like, it's the individuals that.
That's why the family broke up. Because
the individuals.
AKA Christine.
Yeah.
Who started this whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like,
I guess that includes Meri too, the person you were begging to stay. Yeah, she's awful.
Yeah.
And then Cody dramatically says he will remain the maverick because he doesn't want to wear the brand, but he does still believe in Jesus. Okay, whatever that means.
All right. Well, so really quickly, next time we see the engagement party, we see Meri talking about Cody. And then this one I thought was really interesting. I wrote some notes on this one quick brief thing that we see of Robyn and Cody having a date at that place in the attic to where where he had just begged Janelle to stay together with him. And in that thing, he is telling Robyn, I have so much anxiety about you leaving me. And I just think this is fascinating that he is very worried. And we've heard him say this more than once about like, wait a minute, what if Robyn leaves me? Yeah. And the thing is that this is the note I wrote down, which is he is so scared, even though we can see very clearly, like Robyn's not going to leave you. Where is she going to go? But he is so scared. And it's, what it is? It's that he just had 3 women leave him and he has zero awareness of why.
Yeah.
And so here he is faced with someone else and he's sitting there going, how do I know if I'm doing X, Y, and Z, that's going to be the reason she leaves? And that's the part that I think I kind of felt for Cody of like, God, you have zero awareness. You've never had a chance to even have any awareness because you've been in this whole world for so long. And here you are, and you have no idea how to make a marriage with one person work. And now you're freaked out she's going to leave. I was like,
and they show, I think in the mid-season trailer, they show a scene where he asks her, will you do monogamy with me? Or do you think you can do monogamy with me? And then, of course, I'm sure this is like creative editing, but then you hear her saying, well, it's not what I wanted or something. But of course, yeah, of course she's going to do it. What else is she going to do? Where's she going to go? They just bought like a newer, bigger house. So, no, she's not going anywhere. Yeah, they're going to have to figure out a way to make this show work.
Yeah.
So they can get paid.
Well, at least it's very entertaining, I have to say, except for the wedding dress, like the wedding prep stuff. But the other stuff is, it's just, we get these little nuggets of, ooh, that's really interesting. Just these little droppings of things with this.
Well, we have to promote. So, the next episode that's coming out after this episode, we did an interview with a couple, Melanie and Corey, who both used to be in the AUB. And they have a YouTube channel. They're on social media. It's Notes to Self 444 is their handle. That'll all be in the show notes. But they know all these people. They know the Browns. They grew up with them. They are fascinating people.
Yeah.
Super interesting. Super, super interesting interview. And I hope we talk to them again.
Yeah.
More about this. So you have to, if you're interested in Sister Wives, you have to listen to that. It's really good.
Yeah, because I feel like I understand the show so much more now.
Yeah.
After talking to them.
Yeah.
Like so many of the layers and the things that we're seeing, I just, okay, now that makes so much more sense. And that makes sense, So yeah, that's on Thursday. But thank you so much for tuning in. If you like us and like our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating and review. Those do help us. Please subscribe. And if you want more content from us, please go over to Patreon. We have a Patreon over there. We do a weekly bonus and we do a true crime monthly for the $8 tier and a Ask Us Anything. So go check us out over there. Go to Psych Legal Pop on Instagram and TikTok. And we will see you or talk to you all next time.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.